All right, so I'm not sure what episode this is of Honda 600 Superpower Tuning, but this is my 1972 Honda Z600, kind of my micro muscle car, and I've been wanting more power. I'm so spoiled by these Subaru 360s and their two-stroke engines and their power band. I just assumed that the four-stroke engine that has 10 more horsepower would feel more powerful, but so far I've been disappointed, although things have been getting better. As you know, I had some issues with my fuel tank being clogging up my fuel pump, and the car running bad that way. I've got most of that sorted out now, and we're on to finer things, and we're actually making some power. It's feeling a lot better. I think I can hit 52 or 53 miles an hour in a quarter-mile span, whereas before it was like around 47. So, and I'm not running out of fuel on the highway. So, let me just review a few things that I've done recently. I took out the factory fuel pump because I thought it was clogged. It ended up being a volume problem. Let me see if you can see it. It's underneath the car here. You see that there? That's one of those 7 psi pumps, and I've got two fuel filters on the intake of the pump. Turns out the lines were all plugged up, and I was restricting the pump and causing it to cavitate. That was part of my problem. So 7 psi pump is a lot for this little guy. The stock pump is about 2 psi, but I've got a handy dandy regulator right here, and that goes around to another fuel filter and then into the carburetor. So you may ask, well, 7 pounds of fuel pressure, that's a lot. And I do have it set to 7 pounds. The carburetor doesn't leak, and it is running fantastic. And the reason I know it's running fantastic is I installed a wideband right here. I'll turn it on for you. So right here on my steering column, that is basically an air-fuel ratio meter. It measures in stoic. So 14.7 to 1, which is reading 14.6, kind of blinking to 14. That is where we are at sea level. And that is the optimum rate for fuel to burn. So you're always trying to hit that or a little richer. And as it turns out, this carburetor is perfect. It reads high 13s under full throttle, and it cruises about 16. Perfect. The one thing that I did do, it was a little rich. It was reaching 12.5 or so under full throttle. I just pulled off the lid of the air filter assembly, and that got me to a perfect ratio. So it's cruising pretty good. I now have a 7,000 RPM red line, which I never had that before. But what I want to show you is getting ready to do a little modification on the carburetor. This is the same carburetor that's on the car over there. It's the late model aluminum diaphragm carburetor. And normally these carburetors have a boot here that connect to the air filter assembly, as you saw on the car. And inside the boot, they have this little screen assembly. This screen, you can see, is partially plugged. And the screen itself is a restriction. So I was thinking, what about a velocity stack? I got these old velocity stacks off of a 911 project from long ago. They're made for a Weber IDA, but they're just too big. They're pretty large. So then I went to the Volkswagen camp, and same thing. These are actually a little too big. And then I went to the dollar store, and I found cocktail sauce cups, which I think is going to be perfect. I'm just going to cut the bottom out of the cup there and weld it in place of this screen, and I'll have essentially a neat little velocity stack, which might help my higher RPMs, where this engine really starting to shine. It's got quite a bit of power between 5,500 and 7, probably all full 37 horsepower, I think. Anyhow, just playing around the shop, and that is my latest and greatest project, is to put these cocktail sauce velocity stacks on my Honda 600, and we'll see how that goes. And it'll all fit within the air filter assembly. Okay, wish me luck.